Now to discuss this is Joey Jackson, who is a CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney. Also with me is Gina Loudon, who is a member of President Trump's Media Advisory Board. All right, good to see you both. So, Joey, you first. There was a tweet today from Daniel's attorney, and he tweeted this. Note, A, not all of our evidence will be mentioned, displayed tonight. That would be foolish. B, we are not sure what CBS will include, but we know a lot from the full interview will have to be cut because of the time allowed. C, tonight is not the end, it's the beginning. A rather ominous warning there. So, Joey, is, this attorney downplaying expectations for tonight, or is it possible that he knows that the legal battle is about to intensify?
The Twitter wars. I shall not say they begin, because they have begun. Yeah. Those are what are intensifying at this point. Good to see you always, Frederica. Look, here's the reality. I think what he's doing, as he mentioned, is he's firing that warning shot. And what he's doing is he's protecting his client's interest in the following way. He's not in the business of public relations, though certainly he's been doing a good job of it by appearing on much of TV. But I think what he's doing is he's saying that the Trump people have to be very careful in terms of what they spin and how they spin this interview, because there may be a lot that he knows and a lot that certainly he has in terms of evidentiary information that is not disclosed. So say, for example, Trump or his people come out calling her a liar or doing any other type of thing, then it goes to the issue of, is she being defamed? And the defamation at the heart of that is a falsehood. And so if there's something factually false that she ultimately can back up in terms of what she said, then I think Trump and his surrogates have to be careful and mindful of that. And that's exactly what he's doing in that tweet.
And Gina, we noticed from your Twitter account that you visited the president last night at Mar-a-Lago, he and the family and all of the friends there, and you even tweeted this picture and you wrote, "Lovely to see the real Donald Trump, relaxed and happy. As for those who scream chaos and turmoil in the White House, I have never seen one of them here, not once. How could they know?" So what do you mean, seeing one of them? Or do you mean the chaos, and the turmoil, one of them? Or are you talking about the people who are alleging to have a relationship, never seeing them at Mar-a-Lago? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the people that allege that there's some sort of chaos or turmoil in the administration. It looks to me like we have a president in the White House who's accomplished more than any president in history. He looks very confident, very happy, very comfortable in his own skin when you see him. Atmosphere. He's surrounded by family and friends who love him, especially here in Palm Beach at the Southern White House. And my point was that for all these people who do all this speculating about what's happening behind the scenes, I never see them there. So I'm not so sure how they would know exactly what the president is feeling or acting or thinking.
What did you see while at Mar-a-Lago? What did you see between Melania and Donald Trump there?
Well, I make a habit of not talking about any details of anything I see with the president.
You tweeted a picture.
But I tweeted a picture.
It started there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I of course, I would never do. Just the point is that the president is very happy. He's very much surrounded by his family and his friends and his loved ones. And he gets a standing ovation no matter where he goes. When he walks in the room, everyone stands up and claps. People feel good about where he's put us economically, where he's put us from a perspective of national security. People feel good about the things to come in America. And I think that's what Americans want to be talking about.
Any discussions about the upcoming 60 Minutes interview this evening? I mean, all of those people there at Mar-a-Lago, friends, family members, not one person talked about, the curiosities about what might be said involving Stormy
Daniels. I think
Daniels.
the American people are not that curious about this story.
I'm talking about at Mar-a-Lago
really
while you were there.
Since
you let us know that you were there, what was discussed as it pertains to that?
Like I told you, I don't discuss private conversations on national television, but I will say that I think the American people are much more concerned about the things that impact their daily lives. They want jobs. They want the healthcare disaster that was created by the last administration fixed. They know this president is the caveat, the answer to that. He works tirelessly, and these sorts of distractions, you know, it was the Russia thing, then it was, you know, whatever, the women accusations where we never saw any evidence of anything. I think the American people are generally tired of that, and they want to move on to, hey, what is this going to mean to my pocketbook, to my job, to my children's future?
So
that's
in a
what I hear
legal
from the
case,
voters.
Joey, part of the evidence is testimony and an account, and these two women are making these allegations. So, is this a political problem? Is this a significant legal problem?
I think you have some of both, and I just have to take umbrage. I'm not here to get into the politics of it, certainly the law, and I'll address that. But I mean, we can't have wild allegations. Accomplished the most in American history, what, in terms of firing people from the White House, in terms of ending DACA?
No, sir, in terms of jobs, in terms of record low unemployment,
but that's a whole other issue. Let me get to the facts.
Black homeownership.
Hold on, Gina.
I could go on all day with the record.
Okay.
So don't undermine
Gina.
that.
Let's hear Joey.
I could probably likewise go on all day with the other side, but again, I won't. So let's talk about the facts. Hyperbole and misrepresentations and every other word. Is it a lie? Is it not a lie? Let's discuss facts. In terms of the facts, I think that it certainly could be problematic. Now, listen, it's not against the law to have an affair, right? So the reality becomes is she'll tell her story, and that, of course, will be interesting to some and will not be interesting to others. But the critical issue is whether or not there was some kind of campaign finance violation here. And I think that's what needs to be looked at critically. Now, perhaps there was not. But I'm not sure of many lawyers. Certainly, I've been a proud member of the New York Bar for 2 decades and more. I have never, notwithstanding my zealous advocacy for clients, decided to write a check just because I'm a kind guy, a nice guy, and I want to protect someone who I really care about. So the issue becomes who, if anyone, directed you to do that? Are there emails, are there witnesses, are there other individuals which would suggest that you did it, not because you're kind, but to preserve and protect the president and to make it a campaign sort of contribution? In the event that you did that, was it disclosed? Certainly it's in excess of the limits that are imposed, and so that's the legal issue as it pertains to that. And so I think, that's what investigators will examine if they have the taste to examine it.
And the legal issue, this non-disclosure agreement, Stormy Daniels did accept the $130,000. Now her team saying, that because Donald Trump didn't sign it, that agreement was not valid. But then you've got Trump's team talking about this $1 million fine potentially for tonight's interview for allegedly breaking this non-disclosure agreement. So even the challenge that perhaps she may owe them or owe Trump $20 million for the many times that she has spoken. So a legal issue or not? A relationship or not?
Look, we live in a society where there's freedom of contract. You like Trump, you don't like Trump, you like him some, you dislike him some. Look at the facts, look at the legalities of it. People enter into contracts every day. I'm one that believes that this is a valid contract. There was an offer of $130,000 to be quiet. There was acceptance of that offer. And as a result of that, you had this meeting of the mind. So it's valid. The question becomes what now happens when she speaks. So the contract provides for 2 things. Disgorgement. What does that mean in English? It means you give back the $130,000 under the provisions of the contract. It also has what's called, Frederica, a liquidated damage provision. That in English means that we anticipate both parties that if we're damaged $1 million per breach, so that's what she would have to pay. However, liquidated damage clauses are not enforced if it could be deemed that the $1 million is a penalty. So she could be penalized for speaking tonight, but I don't think in the area of $1 million.
We'll leave it there for now. And quickly, Gina, will you be watching the 60 Minutes interview?
Listen, the Palm Beach Boat Show is in town, and that's where I'll be tonight.
All right.
I'll be watching.
Enjoy. Gina Loudon, Joey Jackson, thanks to both of you. Appreciate it.